In this video, we'll explore control of Telycam PTZ cameras using a SKAARHOJ PTZ Pro. And right here beside me, I have the Telycam Explore SE and XE cameras, and they share the same pro-grade PTZ platform, IP-based connectivity, PoE, NDI, SDI, HDMI, 3D, and tele support with these great lamps, and all the image tuning options you would expect from serious studio hardware. And the SE gives you a big zoom range and broadcast level I/O, while the XE steps up the game on the image sensor size. PTZ Pro from SKAARHOJ can take full command of both. Everything from smooth motion to every deep menu setting inside these cameras. And by the end, you'll see why PTZ Pro is the most complete, no compromise control surface for Telycam's top tier PTZ lineup. PTZ Pro is one of our most popular PTZ controllers. If you didn't know, we have other controllers as well. We have PTZ Fly, we have PTZ Extreme. So any type of customer you are, any type of space constraint you have, any need for more or less buttons, we have the controller for you. And this is sort of in the middle of the lineup. One of the cool things is that you have a lot of direct access to preset recall on these buttons. You have camera selection down here with nice OLED displays that shows you the camera name above it. We also have a menu navigation section here and encoders to adjust settings on these awesome cameras. And of course, we have a joystick for controlling the cameras. So a PTZ Pro, or basically any SKAARHOJ PTZ controller, talks directly to the hardware we control. So over this Ethernet cable that also powers the unit, we talk straight to the cameras. We don't need a computer in between. So what I'm gonna show you now, this UI is essentially coming straight out of this one, served to you from a web browser. So you basically see the home screen here, and this is how easy it would be to set up cameras in the PTZ Pro. I've done it already, of course. You see the Telycam SE and the XE models are already added on each their IP address. There's also an ATEM constellation. That's for Tele. I'll show you that in a moment. And it's all mapped onto the controller over here. You can do a large number of things inside. You can reconfigure, you can simulate the panel. For instance, I could basically operate the camera selector from my simulation tab. There's so much you can do in this UI. Not the point of this video today, because we have other videos that shows the details. It's very much the same because the platform, the software that runs inside, the Blue Pill platform is the same across our products. I talked about the ATEM switcher. So I want to show you that just up from the beginning here, that if I bring up the ATEM constellation UI here, if I cut on my video switcher, which is connected to the PTZ Pro, the PTZ Pro is facilitating the change of tele lights on the cameras. Now, unfortunately on the video, it's not necessarily clear that this is currently green and the other one is red, but you may be able to see that there is a change going on the lamp of the cameras. And that is happening because we are hooked up with the ATEM switcher and we map that tally information over to the cameras through the protocol we have integrated. Now let's explore the cameras a little bit. So I want to just hold on here to the first one. Presets, that's a very important thing for PTZ cameras. So if I press on, let's say, preset number 2, you see this camera is going to move to a different position. And that's essentially a preset. If I go back to number 1, it comes back to this position. And if I use the joystick to move the camera to, okay, let's say that I want to zoom in here. All right, I can now store this as a preset on number 3. So I press and hold. And now this is stored there. So if I go back to another preset here, and if I press 3, you see I just made a preset by pressing and holding. I stored it and I now record it. It's that easy, really. Now, there's a little trick here on PTZ Pro, which is unique for this controller, but pretty cool, because we don't have displays on this one. You can actually change this to be the camera selector. So now it's selecting the camera that I'm operating. So I can, by the way, you see tally on the the buttons. So the tally tells you if I press this one, camera number 1, and it's red, it's danger zone because you're going to operate a camera which is currently live on your feed. So be careful with that. But now we have our presets down here on the lower row where we can also set labels. So I'm gonna break my promise and go back to my camera selector because I want to show you that I can actually change preset labels from the UI and add a label like wide shot. Okay, so I type in wide shot and it says wide shot in the display, right? And for the preset I just made, I'll just have close up. So it says close up in the display. Okay, so that's presets, guys. And now that we're at it, I want to show you an advanced form of preset, which is called trace. All right, so trace is, if I press and hold this, not for 1 second, but for 3 seconds, I'm starting recording a tour of the camera. So, okay, let's go back and just see what the camera looks like here. So I start, you can see on the display, on the controller, that it's basically counting steps. Okay, I'm just going to stop there, pause for a little bit, and I'm going to move the camera up and then a little bit to the side. I'm sorry for my jerky movements here. All right, we stop there, we press the stop button, and now, if I press this once, it's gonna go back to the initial position. If I press it again, it's now going to play back the speed steps I did just a moment ago. And with proper practice and operational skills, you'll be able to create presets in your context that makes sense for you. So basically, this is an automated move, right? I'm totally hands-off. So this is trace, this is built into SKAARHOJ's products, and it will work across ranges of cameras. So it's not in these cameras, but they have something else which is cool, namely tracking. And we'll come back to that in a moment. But now I just showed you trace, and that's how that works. Okay, I want to just switch those around so we go back here and we are able to now pick the second camera. So let's just go over to that. It is right here. And I think there's a little bit we can do to work with the image here. So now I want to show you the menu and how that works. If we operate these buttons, you see that there are changes to the displays happening here. This is the exposure menu, and this is where we can set iris priority, brightness as different modes of exposure, shutter priority, manual exposure. So now the image became quite dark here. So if I operate the iris, that might be one way to adjust it. I can also go down in this dialog here, and I could change the shutter speed a little bit and so on. So there are a lot of manual things you can do in exposure mode, but let's just stick to one of these. White balance is another very important dialog. It's currently at auto. We can choose indoor, we can choose outdoor, we can choose auto white balance tracking, and finally we have manual. Now, actually, there's a difference between these two cameras. One of the cameras won't have the green channel. So right now I'm on the XE and it has the green, but if I go back to this one, you'll notice that in my white balance menu, and if I change the white balance over to manual, so we have temperature where I could basically set a, okay, let's just change so you can see it actually. So right here, I'm changing the color temperature of the image, but if I change back to, you see it becomes quite blue here, but let's go to manual. The green is missing. Why? Because it apparently doesn't have a green. Otherwise, my engineers have not been doing their job. But it's very likely that it simply doesn't have the green channel available, while the XE series does have it. And SKAARHOJ always goes for integrating all the specific parameters of the hardware we integrate with. So with the plus 500 devices out there, you can expect the parameter list that we integrate to be very deep, very close to the hardware that we are controlling. So you get an experience with our universal panels that is close or matching the experience you would have with a surface that is designed for these cameras by the manufacturers themselves. So that's just one example of how deep we integrate. Now, okay, let's just mess up the image a little bit here. Let's go back to the camera we're actually looking at. So I think I should be able to do something horrible to the image, which is like my favorite exercise when I do white balance adjustments, because I can quickly fix it by going back to like auto white balance tracking mode or whatever. Now, let's move on. Color settings, brightness, contrast, ND filters, or noise reduction, 2D, 3D, standard VSCA commands. We also have focus mode here. So if I zoom in a little bit, we will see that there is an autofocus in play that works out pretty well. I can go to manual if I want. I can also change the focus. So using this knob, you see I'm getting out of focus, and I can see the focus position right there, and I can press this one to have a one push autofocus, just bring it back. We have gain settings, iris, focus, one push, and so forth, shutter speed, etc. And this is the menu I wanted to get to, which is tracking, okay? So basically tracking means that I can track a character. I have tried a little bit with these Star Wars characters. It's not gonna work. So it somehow reacts better to my pretty face here. So basically, what you do is you enable this one, and then it would go to what is called an initial position. Let's just try to do it, but Okay, that's not too bad. So an initial position is one that you set prior to enabling trace. So it's basically making sure the camera goes to a position where it can pick up a target and track it. So right now on this page, we can set the initial position. You can also do that through the web UI in various ways. So just be aware that if we go to camera settings, for instance, we have a tab here called tracking. And inside that, we have many of these things. But what I'm showing you today is that we can do all this from the PTZ Pro because we made that deep integration. All right, so here we can set the initial position. We can also recall it if we want to go to it, like purposefully, and we can also clear it if we want. Now, going back to enable, we are currently enabled. And if I change location of the target, you can see now I'm more centered. Now I'm going more to the right. With this option here, I can change the target ratio. And if I cared to move my chair over there and I moved myself, that little cardboard figure, then you would also see the cameras following along. But not today, guys. I'm just showing you that these settings are available in here. Different locking settings. We have something called Blackboard mode, which is pretty cool. If you think about it, it seems like the tracking settings here is perfectly designed for educational usage because you have board position 1 or 0 and 1. You can also set limits like upper left and lower right corner limits, and that is being done. Also in here on this page, you have up left. You can set up left limit. You can set down right limit. You can also set various features around related to the Blackboard positions. So all those things are available inside this menu. Standard stuff you can do to PTZ cameras like flipping around images and so on. Yes, we can also do that. And the final thing I want to show you is that pan tilt speed is here. So pan tilt speed is a SKAARHOJ feature in the PTZ Pro that will help you to have more smooth movements. If you want to have less jerky movements, then you can enable that and that will help you. Now, let me show you how. So if I just go back and disable this, because as long as I have tracking enabled, my joystick won't do anything useful. All right, so I just go to my PTZ speed. There we go. Now, let's move the camera. Are you ready? Look at the image. Oh, it moves really quickly. Now, if I turn down the speed to, guess what, 1, and I push the joystick full swing, it's not gonna go faster than this. And much of the time, it's really useful to dial this down to say 4 or something, because it means that you are not likely to rush the camera across the stage. You can also have a separate setting for zoom. So as I'm just showing you, if I like rotate joystick full swing, 3 was a little bit too little. Okay, my zoom speed, this is my max zoom speed. And in between there, we have now a more fine-grained zoom speed control. So those are speed settings on the camera. Again, it's a PTZ Pro feature on this control panel. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the sort of content I'm presenting here, then make sure you like and subscribe our channel. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And if you need a chat with a real human being, please reach out to our support team. They are always happy to learn what you're up to, what you want to do with our products, and advise you on the best model.